Hello, Mark Sutton with HurricaneTrack.com here with your hurricane outlook and discussion, talking about powerful Hurricane Harvey just about to make landfall here in the next few hours along the Texas coast. This is where Corpus Christi is down here, and then you have Houston and Galveston up in this area. And in between the two, very, very strong Hurricane Harvey. Look at that incredibly well-defined eye, the center of circulation, and the central dense overcast around it, this ball of convection, thunderstorms pushing up high into the atmosphere, and underneath torrential rainfall, howling winds, a storm surge that is being pushed towards the coast up here in this right front quadrant area, and it is really going to be bad over the next few hours. And then unfortunately from there, this is going to make landfall at night. And I want you to notice too the long fetch of moisture coming up from these bands into southwest Louisiana over here, and even into parts of southeast Louisiana, some heavy rainfall possible. And then of course we're going to have to deal with a tremendous flood threat throughout this region that could be historic and a generational event that people talk about for a long time. I want to talk about where I'm located right now. Currently, I am in my hotel room way over here in Alice, Texas, right over here, and I have a weather station and a live camera running down here in the southern part of the Corpus Christi Bay, right off of Oso Bay. I think that's how you pronounce it, O-S-O. And then we have a live camera, and this also has a live camera with it, a weather station and a live camera. And we also have a live camera right up here in Port O'Connor. Nothing in between. You say, well, Mark, it's going to make landfall right through there, dude. Where's your cameras? Well, you really can't get out to San Jose Island. It's not very populated, and there's really no houses to speak of out here. This is, if it's going to come into a barrier island, I guess that's the best one. But inland from there, some of these bays and these big waterways through here with that northeast wind pushing some of these bodies of water towards the southwest, tremendous storm surge flooding is going to happen in some of these areas. And I'm really worried about up here in the Port O'Connor and the Indianola area up towards Port Lavaca. It's all a matter of the angle of attack and the wind just really piling the water up in there. So this is not a good situation for Texas. That's an understatement. Highway 77 runs down this way. I've heard of people still trying to get off of these islands down here. I just can't believe it. It's like, what does it take to motivate people? I guess this is it. So it's coming in. It's going to make landfall here in the next few hours, and then pretty much just sit over this part of Texas down here, the center of it, for the next couple of days. So if we look at the National Weather Service page, I want to really emphasize on information that can help you. All right, so let's just say, for the sake of argument, that you live in Victoria, Texas, and surrounding areas, and you want to know what to expect. First thing I need you to do is you go to weather.gov. I know I've talked about this before, but I got to keep hammering it because it'll really help people to understand what to expect. So go to weather.gov, weather.gov, and then you go over here and you put your zip code in. Get my toolbar back. And for the Victoria area, 77901, and you see it pops up Victoria and different zip codes throughout the region there, the different zip codes of the area. And on the landing page, this is what you want to look for right here, hazardous weather conditions. And in this case, there are a lot. What I want you to read is this one right here, the Hurricane Local Statement. That is very important because it has the information that you need for your local area, and I'm going to click on it for you and show you what I'm talking about here. If you click on the Hurricane Local Statement for Victoria, this is for the Victoria area, and it's going to have the timestamp. This was updated quite recently, 4:42 p.m. Central Time, and it comes from the Weather Service office here in Corpus Christi. All right, so this is written locally, not out of Washington, D.C. or somewhere else. It's right here. The people who write these live in the region. Okay, so this is very important. It's got new information, the situation overview. I mean, look at this, the potential impacts, and this is what people want to know. Mark, what is it going to do in my area? Well, if you read this, this will explain it. And this is for your area. This is not for Houston. This is not for Brownsville or Corpus Christi per se. Excuse me. This is for the Victoria area. So you'd read about the wind. You can read about the surge impacts in the region. And you can read about, farther down the list here, all kinds of information on rainfall, flooding rain. We're talking about absolute devastating, catastrophic rainfall, tornadoes, and it's just all in here. So please read this, and it'll help you understand what's going on as Harvey makes landfall and lingers over the area for the next several days. Looking at the national large map here of the radar gives you a sense of scale of how much of an area Harvey is impacting down here. And there it is. Look at all of that rain coming in, like I said, as far east as southeast Louisiana, southeast central Louisiana, western Louisiana here, southwest parts. And then you've got these strong feeder bands coming in to the upper Texas coast, and then the core of Hurricane Harvey down here making landfall. And then look how far inland these rains are already reaching. We're talking about there is San Antonio. All right, so this covers Victoria, very heavy rainfall, and this is going to sit here for several days, unfortunately. Austin, San Antonio, areas between there and the coast, up to 40 inches of rain, and some areas I think are going to eclipse that. And that's going to be the next story after this makes landfall, and everybody sort of, pops their champagne bottles, if you will, that we've had a major hurricane, the first one in almost 12 years. That's going to be nothing compared probably to the devastation of the flooding rain that could impact a huge area down here. So please keep that in mind. There's more to this story than just where the eye makes landfall and the storm surge that's going to happen to the right and to the north and east of where that happens, and the wind damage that's going to happen through here. The flooding rain is a huge problem. So please be ready for that. Don't drive through it. This is absolutely dangerous, catastrophic. Even I am very concerned about how my team and I are going to deal with this. And hey, I don't even live here. I'm going to get to go home when this is all done to North Carolina, probably a week from now. But what can I say? It's hurricane season. We knew this could be coming, and here it is. Seriously, for folks in Texas, I'm with you. I empathize for what you're going through. I've seen enough of these to realize this is not exciting anymore. It's not like, oh, there might be a hurricane brewing. This is the real deal, and it's going to be a problem that people are going to be dealing with for a long time. So you certainly have my sympathies, and my heart's with you, all right? Seriously, I care, and I know what suffering is coming, unfortunately, and it's going to just get worse from here. I wish I could end it on a better note, but, the reality of it, sometimes it is bad, and you need to talk about it. That's it from me for now. We are strategizing, my team and I, myself, Carrie, and Todd, about what to do next. It's getting ready to get dark within the next 2 hours or so. And then we have to be figuring out what we want to do tomorrow. We have other cameras that we can place out, getting ready for the flood event and the duration of this system. So, stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. This does not make landfall tonight, and that's the end of it from our coverage perspective. So check, YouTube, check the app, our Hurricane Impact app for these updates. I'll keep everything up to date as much as I can. From Alice, Texas, I'm Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com. Thanks as always for tuning in. And I'll have more coverage throughout the next several days.